to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. All council members are present except for Councilman Reeves. So we have a quorum and we'll proceed with business. First up is to approve tonight's agenda. Does any council member have any questions on the agenda or any modifications to it?
Move to approve.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. Citizen comments. Everyone got the memo. Hearing no citizen comments, we will move on to our consent agenda. That includes the minutes of our May 5th meeting and appropriations ordinance 1292.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda approved. All right, we do have an appointment to consider tonight for the tree board.
Actually, 3 appointments. These are reappointments to the tree board. The terms of Tom Corns, Dee Corns, and Travis Barnes expire at the end of this month on the 31st. All 3 have expressed interest in being reappointed to the tree board to serve another 3-year term ending May 31st, 2028.
I move to approve all 3 of those appointments to the tree board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to reappoint those 3 members to another 3-year on the tree board. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Appointments approved. All right, we just have one item of business tonight, just kind of an annual event here, funding request to help fund the 4th of July fireworks show here in town.
Yes, for the last several years, the city has contributed $1,500 towards the fireworks for the 4th of July celebration. This year, the budget is approximately $4,500, and with the rest of the funding coming from other donations, both from the community and other sponsors. Invenergy has committed to sponsor, as well as KPP Energy, and to cover all the cost. And the street closures for this event will be approved administratively. Power at Greensburg is requesting $1,500 from the city again towards the fireworks, and then also city staff assistance with disposal of the spent fireworks afterwards. I will note that I'm talking with the new Lighthouse Worship Center pastor, Pastor Dave, can't think of his last name right now off the top of my head, Pastor Dave, about some other activities for the 4th of July. He's interested with the church doing a meal and having some live music and some different things. So I have a meeting with him tomorrow, so there's some other plans also in the works for the 4th of July, just as a little side note.
With the 4th of July falling on Friday, you'll remove the trash and everything. Will that happen on Monday morning, or will it happen before then?
I haven't gotten that far yet. If it's the desire of the council to have somebody do it on Saturday, we could. We would have whoever's on call for that weekend could do it, and it might take a couple people though. We usually bring the loader down and then throw it all into the bucket and then haul it off. So if you prefer not to wait till Monday, because I know that's come up in the past, have it sitting there, we can have somebody do that on Saturday.
So we'd have to pay somebody overtime to ask them to come in on Saturday and pick it up, probably wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe a little. Generally a call out is a 2-hour minimum. It'd be call out pay. We classified as that, or
Is that time and a half?
you're testing me without my manual. Call out pays a little bit different, so I'd have to look at that.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I mean, it doesn't bother me, I think, on the 4th of July people, you know. I know out in front of my house, I just kind of pile them up until I'm ready to douse them down and get rid of them, but I just wanted to, since it did fall on a Friday, just know kind of on the front end of things.
I think it'd be fine to sit there till Monday, as long as it's not forecasted to be extremely windy or something like that Sunday. You know,
I'm the same way.
blowing
I hate
around.
having trash blowing all over all weekend.
Yeah, that's something that we can look at. You can look
Closer
at,
to time.
you know, that week and kind of make that judgment call.
Yeah, and they get doused really well afterwards, and so they're usually pretty heavy,
Yeah.
at least for a day or two, because they're so wet. That cardboard absorbs a lot of water. But yeah, we can watch the weather.
Is it possible to set a dumpster down there, and when they put them in the dumpster, then wet it down before they leave?
We want to make sure it's a metal dumpster. A lot of the dumpsters we have here are plastic,
Well, I mean,
actually.
some of the metal ones?
Yeah, we could see about a
On the
metal
smaller
one.
metal ones?
Yeah, we could see about that.
You have a real dumpster
We
fire.
don't need an actual dumpster.
I couldn't, it just
No, we
is
don't
right
need
there.
Couldn't let
I
it
had-
go, could you?
Plastic would
Couldn't
burn
stop.
forever.
Anyway, I would, make a motion to approve the $1,500 to support the city firework display.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, to approve the $1,500 donation request or funding request for the Fourth of July fireworks show. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. All right, that takes care of items of business tonight, so we'll move on to city staff reports.
Last week I attended the annual webinar put on by the State Municipal Services regarding the budget process. Really the main change for this year that was passed by the legislature involves the deadline for the budgets to be submitted to the county clerk. Previously with the revenue neutral rate, there was 2 deadlines. If you were going to exceed revenue neutral rate, you had until October 1st. If not, August 25th was your deadline. Now they've pushed it to where it's October 1st for everyone. So that does give us a little more time in the process, but that doesn't mean I think that we should necessarily delay. That's something I'm going to be starting to work on and look at here in the next several weeks, and talking with department heads on budget needs for next year. So with that being said, if you have anything that you've been thinking about budget-wise for 2026, please let me know, and we can start looking at that. This week, KDOT is hosting public meetings for the Southwest Kansas Highway Expansion Mobility and Expansion Strategy. That's right. Today there was a meeting in Pratt, and I know that Commissioner Dave White was there, and there's a meeting in Dodge on Thursday evening. I also attached a handout from the meeting at Pratt today. I've been part of an advisory group with this, and this was presented during a Zoom meeting. I had another meeting this morning, so I was unable to go to Pratt, but in that handout is the report that they gave today from the first round of feedback that they sought, that I have mentioned before. So I just thought it'd be interesting if you want to take a look at that. Marcus Mitchell has been hired as a pool manager for this summer. Lifeguards will start training on Friday and through the weekend, and then the pool opens on Monday. We have 13 lifeguards and an assistant manager hired, so I feel pretty good about the staff we have and number of staff. Kids are very busy, and the first couple weeks of June especially are going to be challenging for having lifeguards with all the activities that they have. So hopefully having 13 will be able to make that work for the first couple weeks. We received our annual Consumer Confidence Water Report for 2024, and I included the link there on our website if you want to take a look at that. As required by KDHE, we have to deliver that by several methods to our consumers, and so it's on our website. It's been sent to the health department. We have hard copies here, and I'll also be putting a link in our next city newsletter that will go out with bills this week. The county has advertised in the Tri-County Tribune the upcoming tax sale. That is July 10th at 10 a.m. This is for properties that are delinquent on property taxes. Not all, but a portion of the list. And at this time, there are 13 properties on the list. That number could change up until the sale. Anybody can go in and pay their tax bill to remove it from the sale list. But I will say that several of these are vacant lots that we mow every summer, and so I imagine they will remain on the list and will go to sale. And we'll probably have a discussion about those in more detail as we get closer to the sale to see if there's any appetite of the council to purchase any of those to go into the land bank, as we are without any residential properties right now in the land bank, and I have been getting some inquiries if we have residential properties. So stay tuned, we'll discuss that at an upcoming meeting. Tomorrow morning, Lochner will be here to meet with the contractor at the airport to go over water and septic project, and then hopefully that means we'll be starting to see construction soon. After the storm Sunday, as you know, there was no damage here in the city. Several of our public works staff were out through the night though, keeping generators running at well 9, the water treatment plant, the lift station, and the water tower to make sure our water and sewer systems were operating correctly. Some of it took a little monitoring. We had some issues with a battery backup at the water tower communicating with the treatment plant and everything, but I don't think anybody probably noticed and still have their water service. So, and just a reminder that the filing deadline for upcoming elections is Monday, May 2nd at noon. We do have 3 positions. Did I say something wrong?
May, June 2nd?
June 2nd, Monday, June 2nd at noon at the county clerk's office. So at this time, I don't believe anybody has filed for the open positions. So that's what I've got.
Questions for Stacy?
Regarding the Lochner,
Mm-hmm.
gonna meet with with the contractor out there. I was talking to a gentleman here a week ago or so. There's gonna be helping that contractor with the septic systems or whatever. He had met with the contractor and they'd looked it over out there, and he had one concern about to be able to backfill the trench with tall vegetation is a mess. So are you gonna be there when Lochner meets with
Yeah,
him?
I'm going tomorrow and I'm gonna see if
They
maybe
may bring
they're
that
able
up.
to- Okay,
I don't know that he's gonna be there or not.
Okay.
He says he talks to that contractor every day, and he said that sand especially gets so tangled together with weeds and
Yeah.
stuff,
okay,
you cannot hardly, it's just a mess
okay.
to backfill it. So I just thought I'd, because he said at that time, he had not seen any design or anything with, you know, how it was laid out.
Okay.
So they didn't, even the contractor had, so,
Well, I think that's part of the meeting tomorrow
sure.
is to really go over in person
right,
on the site where everything's going to be.
okay, okay. They may ask about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Other questions for Stacy? Hearing none, do we have any governing body comments tonight?
Okay, everyone. I had a lady stop me, well, she came to my house Friday evening, and she was shook up. Said she about ran over 2 boys on a golf cart at Grant and Poplar. They cut across the corner. One of them was standing up, and she said she was glad she was watching and her car had good brakes. So I visited with you, here a couple, 3 weeks ago, a month maybe. Did we put that on our newsletter?
It'll go on this one. It's on my list to go on this one. I think that individual also called in here
Yep.
and
Yep.
I'll make sure and,
I've never seen her that shook up. She don't get shook up.
yeah, I'll make sure that the police chief knows about that.
I think it would be a good idea to make a copy of the ordinance and highlight it and have Dennis take it out to the golf course and post it. That's where most of them come from, and that's where they're going to. Before some kid gets killed or something.
Yeah.
Other governing body comments? All right, we do have an executive session scheduled tonight. 10 minutes requested for data relating to financial affairs and trade secrets of second parties.
I make a motion to go into executive session until 6:25.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? back from executive session with no action taken. And that does bring us to the end of our agenda tonight. So we will adjourn the meeting. Thanks for your time, everybody.